This video is sponsored by Crystallis Descendant, the upcoming fast-paced action roguelike. Head on over to the Steam page now to wishlist the game today. Podcast. This is episode number 24 for Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. My name is Marty Sleva. I am joined by Nick Calandra, Casey Wosu, and our producer, Eric, who, Eric, I've told you 1,000 times, when you say, wait, I'm just going through, which sounds terrible out of context. I just meant, I'm rolling through, Eric. You work on your stuff. If they can't hear me, they'll eventually hear me. It's fine. They know what I say at the beginning of the show. Welcome, everyone. It is so great to have you all here for the 24th episode of our inaugural Firelink podcast. We have a wonderful show for y'all today. We are going to be chatting about Summer Game Fest. It's upon us. Almost pre-upon us. No. You know what? I'm going to say it's upon us. I'm going to say last week's Sony showcase was the beginning of it being that was it being upon us, and now it's upon us, and it's gonna be upon us for the next 5 or 6 days. We're very excited. We got a bunch of indie showcases starting tomorrow and Saturday. Friday is gonna be the big Summer Game Fest bonanza, Devolver Digital, Day of the Devs. Sunday is gonna be the big Xbox showcase. Is this the year, or do we have to wait one more year? Who knows? Monday will be Ubisoft. There's been some scuttlebutt. Maybe Tuesday's Nintendo, but they haven't said anything. Nintendo's being coy. Classic coy Miyamoto, as his friends all call him. So we're gonna be chatting about that, predictions, hopes, fears, and as well as a couple news stories that kind of relate to it, including, it was a week ago today that the Sony showcase happened. We were doing our giant charity stream all day, so we didn't do a live reaction to that. We can see if we have any lingering thoughts on some of the stuff announced there. And also, a couple reports came out about how leaks happen at these things. Like before Sony, like 12 hours before Sony, just the whole run show leaked. It's like, how did that happen? We know how now. You know who we could blame? YouTube. John Google.
Google as usual.
Classic Google. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
I'm ready for it to be winter again.
Ready for it to be winter?
Winter, yeah. I don't like summer. Summer's too hot. Anything above like 77, too hot.
Agreed.
I'm kind of there with you. Yeah.
Strong agree.
I don't want winter though. Winter is like it's.
Well,
like
we hardly even got any snow this year, so
yeah. We just
That's true, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. We need to do a little
fall then. Fall like
a nice autumn. A nice healthy autumn.
Mid-fall, like 50s, 60s, perfect weather for anything.
There you go. Well, you know what? Too bad. There's no such thing called the Fall Game Fest. There's only a Summer Game Fest. And our Lord and Savior, Jeff Keighley.
Look, we're in a position where I think we could maybe change this.
No, the games come out in fall. We're too busy. We can't do a fest. There's too many fests.
Yes.
Too many fests out there.
Second Wind Fest in the fall.
Dude, absolutely not. I'm taking no part in planning any of that.
Look, it'll be so easy because, like you said, no games are coming out. So we'll just cover like 2 or 3 things.
It'll be fine. And thank you all so much for being here, for supporting us on places like Patreon via our Incredible Shark Robot merch store, which we have a bunch of exciting new stuff on, and via things like Super Chats. And our first one from producer Eric, want to play some golf, Nick? And then a sad face. Is there a golf goof I missed?
It's a happy face.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a happy face,
like
with like a
mischievous face.
No, it's an evil face, yeah.
Yeah, mischievous. Was that a golf goof? Did you do bad at golf?
I'm refunding that and banning him.
Oh.
I was purposely trolling him.
On his 5th super chat of all super chats?
Why does he keep getting a 5th super chat? Like he's super chatted more than 5 times. He's gaming the system.
John C.
You know
Google.
Google's
He's
broken.
at it again.
Google's broken. It's up to all these leaks. We're gonna get right. You're gonna get right in it. There's not enough time for the spoofs and goofs. We can need the spoofs and the goofs inside of the topics because we got big topics. Let's talk about those little leaks. Let's talk about John Google. 404 Media, and then followed by a report from Insider Gaming, talked about how, like I mentioned earlier, the entire Sony State of Play run a show last week leaked 12 hours, 18 hours beforehand. And it seems like more and more people are just like, oh, this thing's popping up tomorrow. And everyone just knows. And it's like, oh, what's going on here? They're like, insiders, what's going on? And so it turns out that for years, for like the better part of a decade, Google has had kind of massive breaches in the YouTube backend. And it's less like nefarious people hacking into it and more of actual YouTube employees, like there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have access to the YouTube backend, and so companies put up their put their video. We put videos in private mode that no one can see, hours, days in advance, and so these things exist in the YouTube cloud, and these people can have access to it. They can look at it, and then now apparently people are selling this information. According to that Insider Gaming thing, they sold the offer to sell the run a show for 3 figures, which to me just seems really sad. Like, don't lose your job over 3 figures. That's $999 max.
That makes me wonder, like, this can't be like proper in-house Google staff, right? This must be like outsourced Google staff, like maybe even outside of the country back-end workers who would be like, all right, well, I'm not getting paid enough doing this. I might as well exploit this access I have and make some money on the side to make ends meet or whatever reasons they personally have. But it makes me seem like this can't be like proper Google because they get paid a lot of money.
But maybe it's about the thrill. The money is just a little cherry on top of the thrill.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be somebody that wants to be famous have their moment of fame for leaking stuff.
I get bummed by leaks like this that are like right at the 25th hour before a thing. Like if the Summer Game Fest lineup leaked for Friday, that'd be a bummer because I'm like, it's right there.
Yeah,
it's
we were all getting ready to watch it, and then it basically gets spoiled for you. Yeah,
it's like different if something leaks, like, oh, we got to report that Halo's being rebooted. Like that's like an interesting thing. But if it's like this thing's happening tomorrow, don't tell. You don't have to tell us. We'll all know it tomorrow. What is knowing 24 hours in advance going to really do?
Oh, it's the click game. Get a lot of clicks for leaks.
Clickies and leakies. Ruben Finn.
They should have an award show for the best leakers and call it the Clickies.
Or the leakies? Clickies would be like best clickbait headlines, right? Ooh, you got us, the clickies. Yeah, nailed it.
You know what? Yeah.
It's true.
I
would not believe what this child star looks like now. I would not believe. And Ruben, thank you so much for the $2.99 Australian dono. Following up with Leaky Showcase happens at a certain age. Men of a certain age, showcases start leaking. I hope the stuff this weekend doesn't leak because I'm excited. I've been spending the last couple of weeks going back and rewatching a bunch of old showcases from 2004 to 2009, and let me tell you, I think we're in a golden era of showcase because some of those old ones, Hachi-Machi, were bad. Oh my gosh, they were bad. Like as much as I love Nintendo, not good at putting on a showcase. Like they were not. Well, during that era, like the last one I watched, the One More Thing was a 20-minute Wii Music demo.
Oh god,
which had that Rafi Drums guy, the guy who went. And it's like the whole thing, like they're catered towards like the people stocking what things are going to be at the front of a Walmart, and they're catering towards like mommy bloggers and catering towards like the Today Show and stuff. So when anyone says these new ones are bad, I'm like, you don't know.
Like you haven't lived what I lived.
Like. Yeah. That being said, that stretch, Xbox absolutely crushing it. Like Xbox 2007, it was just like here's Gears of War, here's Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, here's the Orange Box, here's Mass Effect, here's Assassin's Creed. Like it was nuts.
Damn,
you guys are off the chain. Will they be back to fighting for him this year, or do they just need one more year?
I miss Sony's like actual E3 showcases because they would do like the live music for God of War and
That
all
era,
kind of stuff.
Sony was really good. Like the
Yeah,
PS4 era, they were really good. Yeah, that God of War one was obviously notoriously awesome, especially with not knowing what the game was until
that was the last
sort of
one.
the Kratos reveal.
Didn't
The
people
last
complain
one.
about their live music Ghost of Tsushima joint?
A bunch of
No,
weirs complained.
yeah,
Like, bring that.
yeah.
He's like a world-renowned flautist.
A flautist, I think, is how it's
Yeah, a world-renowned flauta on
Yeah.
stage. Just
Their
fucking
new
jamming away.
their new state of plays and all that aren't even exciting like Nintendo Directs were.
Yeah, I mean that's less the format's fault and more of just like the contents, right? So yeah, we had the state of play last week, and it feels like it kind of dropped with like there wasn't a lot of fanfare or excitement around it. I feel like the most talked about games, two were in a positive light and two were in a negative light, and those were the negative ones were Concord and I would say Silent Hill 2 remake, and the positive ones I would say are Astro Bot and Monster Hunter Wilds. So I guess starting at Concord, did you guys have any thoughts on that? I actually liked the cinematic trailer.
Yeah, I kind of. If anything, it's maybe too little, too late. But it looks like everything people who want a kind of 5v5 hero shooter PvP thing would want. Like it looks like really high quality Overwatch,
Mhm.
and we don't have that anymore. Like Overwatch 2 is not high quality Overwatch. So I don't know. Maybe this will appeal to those folks who have been slighted or who have like left. But the fact that it's going to be exclusive on PS5 for
And
consoles.
PC.
Like I know it'll be on
PC.
PC, but
Yeah.
like
I'm
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about Concord. Like there's nothing in the gameplay trailer that like said this is unique, but and I tweeted my thoughts on that too. Is like, if this was supposed to sell me on the game, it just looks like many other games that exist right now. But that being said, like if it's good, it's good. I guess just people got to get their hands on it, and it looks like Sony's treating it as a premium product too, and it's not a free to play game, which
I think some of the things said it was going to be
$40, much like Helldivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like Helldivers. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Overwatch
if
launched
plays
at 40.
good.
I think.
No, Overwatch
Is that
was
right?
60. I remember.
I don't think it was.
The original Overwatch was definitely
Yeah.
$60. I
There's really
remember
no way to
buying.
know. History didn't they didn't keep records back then. There was no way to know. Yeah, it is. So this is by a new studio, Firewalk, which is comprised of a lot of folks who worked in this space,
Bungie.
like a lot of leads from Bungie, who from the Halo days onto the early Destiny days. So like it feels like at the very least the gunplay is going to be good. The moment to moment action is going to be good. It has a very the cinematic trailer had a very Guardians of the Galaxy clearly inspired vibe. A little bit of Firefly. Yeah, that stuff was interesting to me. And then but them being like, oh, every week we're gonna drop a little new story bit, and you and your friends will keep doing these 5v5 matches. Like I just feel like 9 out of 10 of these that launch are going to have a hard time finding a foothold, especially this was in the same showcase that we had the Marvel Rivals coming to consoles immediately afterwards. So it seems like both are doing, similar things.
Wasn't there also the leak of Valve's Deadlock, which is another Overwatch-esque game? Like, is it that once Overwatch reached fever pitch, all of these things got into development are only just now coming out? Like, is that what happened?
I mean, honestly, it sounds like that. Also, the best thing, you were both right and you were both wrong. There was a $40 and a $60 version.
Yeah, everyone in chat.
It was like a basic and a premium version.
And what's funny is I bought the console one, so I must have paid $60 for it. So that's very funny to me.
Oh, that's really funny.
Concord. Yeah, I think these games just hit big if they're fun. Like I think that's really all it needs to be. But the trailer, like even the game modes, like didn't speak to me about what this is or anything. Just a 5v5 objective based game, and like I said,
but you know what it is. Like it's Overwatch.
I guess if every hero shooter's Overwatch, sure.
I mean, of the ones that we've seen come after, which I can't even think of what other ones are yet. Like, have they done anything that drastic from that formula? Like, not really, right?
Like Paladins is Overwatch for the beta Overwatch, basically, and
yeah, it's just more of that.
Yeah, I mean, X Defiant just came out. It's another technically hero shooter.
Yeah, it's interesting that
Yeah.
stuff like the Last of Us factions got put on ice because they said it just like wasn't up to a quality bar. And it's interesting that apparently this was. And so that's not like a judgment call on it, but it's just maybe there's something here that we're seeing that we're not seeing yet that really does separate it from, your just traditional hero shooters. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of that. They didn't date it, so I assume it's a next year thing. Maybe it's a fall thing.
They did date it.
Never mind, they dated it. I was wrong. I'm gonna be honest. As soon as the gameplay started in the trailer, I stopped watching it. Oh yeah, it's coming later this summer,
August.
right? Or like early fall, August. Yeah, there you go. Never mind. They're going on a lot of dates with Concord. Congrats, Concord. Going on a lot of dates. And then the other game that kind of got a negative reaction was Silent Hill 2 remake, which Konami then followed up the thing with a full Silent Hill transmission where they showed off a bunch of the game. It feels like the developers, which is funny because it's similarly, I would say, to the first Silent Hill movie. They understand the aesthetic of Silent Hill 2, and it looks like aesthetically, visually, looks pretty spooky. I do not think they understand Silent Hill 2 thematically, and it seems like the changes they were making just do not vibe with what Silent Hill 2's themes are. So I'm going to be curious playing this if it's going to be one of those, if I turn my brain off and pretend Silent Hill 2 is a thing, this is a nice, fun, little spooky experience in October. But man, it seems like they're missing the point of what that game's about.
Because of the action focus.
The action focus, because of like small things, even like changing. This is gonna sound like please don't make a judgment call right away. There is a character you meet who's in like the original game is in like a short skirt, leopard print kind of stuff, and they changed her outfit in this to be much more much more conservative. And please, I'm not saying, oh my god, that you've made my characters less sexy. There is a reason that character looks like that. Like there is a deep thematic reason that character looks like that. And by making the change,
is it because of skin photosynthesis?
When you find out the reason, you are going to regret your words, and you are going to feel ashamed for your actions. There is a reason for it, and it's just the fact that they didn't understand that makes me very worried that they're not going to understand what this game is actually about. I'm excited to play it, but I don't think it'll be good. I know
it sounds a lot like the complaints about the Avatar or Last Airbender live action adaptation. Like the stuff that was coming out about what they chose. This new Netflix one. Like a lot of the exact same thing you were saying, that the changes that are being broadcast don't seem to understand why the thing existed there in the first place.
Yeah, because they changed what's his name, Zuko or whatever. Like his whole
like Sokka's sexism, for example. They toned it down or whatever.
Like,
but it was part of his arc,
like standing off the edges of his character arc. Then.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of been, obviously, going to sound like the grifters kind of stuff thing for a second, but it feels like a lot of like hard to deal with media, maybe, or like really thematically strong media has been like sanitized quite a bit over the last decade.
They removed vagina bones from my anime game.
What I mean,
vagina bones?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't remember that?
What is that sentence?
You don't remember that?
You don't remember? There was like a post, like a Twitter post or something about an anime game that a character went in the move from Japan to the Western markets, like a dress moved or like her skirt moved up a little bit or whatever, and like her kind of her hips, like the bones in her hips, like didn't go down as far, and the post said I can't believe they removed her vagina bones. And so it's a shame they removed the vagina bones.
Excellent.
But this is not
just a lot of the remakes and stuff like that remove a lot of like what people made it memorable for people.
Yeah,
it wasn't like those strong themes, and people like who played Silent Hill 2 have played it over and over and over again and know that game inside and out.
Chad, it is insane that Tokyo Mirage Sessions was the game for Vagina Bones, because I didn't know what that game was when the thing was going down, because I didn't play Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I didn't get into Persona and Tokyo Mirage Sessions until after that, and it came to Switch. I never put two and two together. I've experienced Vagina Bone censorship. live to tell about it. Here's my 45-minute YouTube video.
Oh gosh.
But in more
So sorry for you.
in more happiness, Astro Bot got revealed. It's coming out in September. This is a non-VR, full 3D platformer follow up to the Astro Bot game that came prepackaged with the PS5.
What was the name of that game?
Astro's Playroom, I believe.
Astro's Playroom. Okay.
Yeah, and it has it looks fucking delightful. It looks like just a 3D character platformer going through different worlds, but with a lot of love and care paid to PlayStation history, which is funny considering Sony isn't great at paying love to their own history, including shutting down Japan studio and having Asobi, the team behind this, being like the only remnants of it. But it's like you're going around. It looks like you're almost like rescuing icons of PlayStation Past, from the little Scarf Journeyman to Nathan Drake to the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus characters. Like, it looks absolutely delightful. And if anyone played that, I mean, I hope everyone who has a PS5 played that game that came with it, because that is just an incredible game, and like still the best proof of concept for the DualSense. It has like legitimately the most like interesting and technologically advanced rumble I've ever played in a game, and so I'm really excited for this. It's just coming in September. If this is Sony's only game of the fall, well, that and Concord, that's fine to me.
It reminds me of Tearaway Unfolded, which I feel like I don't know if people played. And Tearaway Unfolded was actually great.
Tearaway's incredible. Tearaway is one of the best Vita games, and then Tearaway Unfolded brought that to consoles.
Yeah,
what a game!
Yeah, if you liked what was it? Shit. Sackboy. Yeah, if you like Sackboy,
a little bit
on PS5, you would really like Tearaway Unfolded.
Yeah, it's great. Tearaway on Vita, it used all the different weird functionality of the Vita. You would have to like touch screen, use a back touch screen, stick the controller around. The Vita had a front-facing camera, and like the whole game has. I haven't played it in a long time. The whole game has something where you're trying to like communicate with the sun, or send a letter to the sun, or do something with the sun. Yeah. And eventually you get there, and you get to the sun, and like the camera pans up to the sun, and just the sun is the front-facing camera. And so I was like in my bed, like, and all of a sudden I see the sun, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! It was like a jump scare. Great game, Tearaway. And then the other big game, Casey, is Monster Hunter Wilds. What did you think about the Monster Hunter Wilds footage?
First off, big disappointment, because it does not look like Wirebug is coming back. That really upsets me. Yeah. But outside of that, like, Monster Hunter Wilds looks amazing. Like, the RE engine looks so freaking good.
Yeah.
In terms of what they're adding, it looks like they are going for a bit of a more cinematic feel with that game's combat. Like, there's I watched a breakdown video. I can't remember what the term was called, but like apparently like every weapon has some sort of like kind of aimed mode. So like you can kind of do like precision attacks on like certain body parts for each monster or whatnot. Like it gets the camera up really, really close on at least the greatsword, from what I could tell, and like it just looks sick. Like, and like aesthetic is a lot of, it's like, I want to say not a lot of, but half of like kind of what makes the combat in those games feel so fun is that like you feel like you're part of that epic battle against these creatures. And it looks like they're doubling down on that, even though it's probably not going to be as fast as Rise was. But they are making some quality of life things that I think will help a lot, because apparently you can carry 2 weapons, and like your kind of bird dog mount in that game is going to be kind of like a mobile camp. So like you can call it to pick you up even when you're on the ground, and you can like swap from like one heavy weapon to like maybe a lighter, faster one on the back of that thing while in motion. And like clearly I feel like that's all leading to you not having to like go back to base camp as often, because like they toured around in some of the end games for like World and in Rise, where like after you finish all the story stuff, you kind of get to explore like each map as kind of a continuous thing where monsters just show up. And I feel like that's kind of what they're aiming for now. Like the main game will kind of be this bigger open world thing where you're just out there and like you got to hunt a monster. Like it seems like the quests start dynamically. Like you come across something and it'll be like, oh, now you're doing this particular quest to hunt this monster, as opposed to you having to go to a hub, set everything up, and then come back. Like most of that setup will probably happen out in the wilds. And maybe in the middle of it, you can be like set upon by some vicious creature, which could make for like a really cool situation. So like, I don't know that for sure, but I definitely get the feeling that might be the goal here. So I'm still very excited because it's a very different kind of Monster Hunter.
They also
It
they
looks
showed
like
some
what I wanted Dragon's Dogma 2 to actually be.
Kinda,
Yeah.
yeah.
Monster Hunter do what Dragon's Dogma don't. It showed cutscenes too with a just like really great looking character model. Like the characters just looked really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But also voice acting for the first time. Is that right?
Oh yeah, they're giving a voice to your main character, and it looks like they're giving
Yeah.
voices to the Palicos, who have always talked. They always have text, but
Yeah.
they never had voice lines, which a lot of other NPCs did. So people will probably hate that because it's going to be super high pitched baby voices.
Yeah.
Another
It's interesting.
Paimon.
Oh no, it's Paimon.
Yeah,
Paimon
it's pretty much going to be that. Like, have you heard I heard what the Japanese cat sounds like, and it's pretty much just Paimon.
It's pretty much like Paimon. R.I.P. Yeah, game looks really cool. And yeah, like you mentioned, Casey, the RE engine is showing that it can between Dragon's Dogma is
it's
showing
super
that
impressive.
it can do open world. Yeah.
So it seems so versatile the way they've been able to make use of it and all their stuff so in the past couple years.
Yeah. Capcom's again. It seems like they're on a roll, and it seems like they're that roll is continuing. They have stuff they're showing off on Friday at the Keeleys and Sunday at the Xbox showcase, including they said they're showing more Monster Hunter. Maybe when we
what's that action game that they have coming?
Pragmata.
No, the other one, the fantasy one. I forget what it's called. There's been no buzz for it.
Action game.
It's got a really weird title. Capcom fantasy action game.
I feel like there's too many fantasy action games right now. I don't want to be like there's like 3 or 4 games that got announced during the PlayStation showcase that I was like, these are all the same game. What are these games?
It's Kanutsugami Path of the Goddess.
Oh, okay. The one that's like all about like spirits and stuff.
Yeah, you get there's like some RTS elements in it. That looks
yes.
I don't think that game's gonna do well.
I mean, it looks cool though. I'm interested.
Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I completely forgot its existence. You're right.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Deep Down?
No, we will never see Deep Down ever again.
I did not make it up. Jumbley one
I
on
Deep
screen
Down
right there.
Did I ever tell you I played Deep Down in Japanese? I did not understand what was going on in that video. Yeah, I played Deep Down. It's
they never like officially canceled it, right? They just stopped talking about it.
Yeah. Same with Agent.
They did, yeah.
Lots of like mysterious PlayStation games that will never see the light of day. When that Wild, Agent.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like a whole history of just forgotten about games. At least Xbox announces and shows them off and then cancels them.
Yeah. At least they have your Scalebounds and your Fable Legends.
Yeah.
Rip. Yeah, I don't like. What did you guys think of the showcase overall? Like,
I just watched some of the trailers, but yeah, like a lot of those action games really do look the same. I still think a lot of them look cool. Like Where Winds Meet looks up my alley and all that, but also like, yeah, the Chinese kind of market for those types of games is getting saturated very quickly with a lot of this very similar looking games in development.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that I want to remain skeptical when I roll in, but I want to leave room for, hey, one of these games might be fucking awesome, because I felt that exact same way about Lies of P. And I was like, I don't know who this developer is. Like, this is clearly just cribbing the FromSoft formula, like whatever. And then it comes out and it's like, oh no, you're not. You're a little bit of cribbing, but you're cribbing way better than anyone else does. So.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of impressed with Sony's showing because, like, I criticize them a lot for sticking to a very strict formula of third-person cinematic-driven, like story-based games, where it's like, all right, there is an underlying gameplay mechanic here, but it's kind of tried and true, and all of their money and time and attention goes to just making it look really good and making a quality-ass story. And it's like the gameplay ends up being boring, with the story being the highlight. And like that's enough for a lot of people, but that usually turns me off because I keep getting that. None of these seem to be in that vein. These all seem to be at the very least more mechanic heavy. Like it's about a combat system or like a world full of characters or whatnot. And like that's what I have been wanting from Sony. Like this is the stuff that I've wanted Xbox to have their developers present. And like what I think Xbox has when they don't completely botch a first party release, like this is stuff that I would associate with their platform more than Sony. So if they have the cinematic stuff covered, and then they're starting to get more of this mechanical heavy gameplay stuff covered, like they're doing no wrong. So I was very impressed by what they had to show.
Yeah, it almost seems like they don't. I mean, at this point, like they're doing fine. They don't need. Like they're not on the back foot. Like Microsoft is kind of the one who needs to prove things. Certain third parties need to prove things that like, oh no, we're not a one trick pony. We could do X, Y, and Z. Like Sony, it just seems like now like they're this engine that keeps rolling, and it's like fine, nothing you can throw pennies, you can throw sticks on the track, it's just gonna roll over them. That being said, Microsoft felt like that when I was talking about those E3s I was watching. Microsoft felt like they could do no wrong. Like, but that kind of hubris, a lot of times when you like that led into the Xbox One reveal, and like, oh, that hubris caught the best of them. Just like Sony coming out of the PS2, that hubris led into the PS3 reveal, and that's when everything changed. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like all the time, like it's always interesting, like to almost look at a heat map, a year by year heat map of how these first parties or third parties are doing, and sometimes it feels like you're watching a horse race, or one racer is way out in front, and then other times it looks like everyone's neck and neck, and they're kind of inching forward and switching spots.
Yeah, it's a more exciting race that way. So like I've been bummed at how far away some of these racehorses, we'll call them, have been from each other.
Yeah, and it's also Sony. One of the things I loved so much in the PS3 and early in the PS4 generation was they gave a real heavy spotlight to indies, or games that even felt like they were carrying the indie spirit, whether it was stuff like Journey or Unfinished Swan, or having Transistor and The Witness on stage at showcases. And it just seems like they don't really do that anymore. That being said, we now have so many more exciting showcases that just focus on indies. Like more than half of the showcases we're going to be covering during our watch-alongs over the next few days are focused solely on indies, and we know games they've already announced that are going to be there, and stuff that we just know embargoed that like are really cool. Like, there is a good chance one of our next favorite games is going to be shown off at one of those conferences. Like, these are the conferences that in the past, like a year ago, would have showed off like Balatro and Animal Well and Lorelei, and that's where stuff like Tunic was at these kinds of conferences. And I don't want to bring up Stray. That was at the Sony one, but we don't need to bring up Stray.
When Sony and all that want you to pay quite a lot of money to be in those showcases or have some exclusive marketing deal.
Yeah,
absolutely. Not really a surprise anymore with all the different options they have.
Oh, and Ren, sorry, I absolutely, Ren, missed your first super chat. My mistake. I got Ruben and Ren confused. I'm very bad. I'm sorry. We're gonna go over the super chats. Ren with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Any of you excited for Stalker 2? Been playing the Mega Mod Gamma, and I've been painting some 3D printed Stalker minis because I'm insane. Do you think we'll see Stalker 2 this weekend?
Yeah, because it's got a September release date on it. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Yes, I do. I do think it sticks this time. I'm definitely interested in it. I don't know what. Well, first off, when they first revealed it, we got yelled at a lot because we did a little video back on The Escapist where it was like that game isn't gonna look like that when it's done. And everybody's like, no, that's exactly what it looks like and all that. And it's very clearly gotten downgrades over the years, which is fine. That's how game development works. But yeah, I guess I'm just really curious how GSC shapes up to do this thing. It sounds very ambitious. And I don't know what kind of studio GSC is anymore. Because so many went off to form 4A games and all that to make Metro and everything. So definitely curious if it lives up to the hype it's set for itself.
Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about the Stalker franchise. Is the hype for 2 based around a love of the first one, or is it on the merits of its showings?
No, it's
the sequel.
It's kind of both. I mean, the first one is definitely a big cult classic, I would say. They were known for their jank, so it's not the best game that was ever made. But as far as surviving in an apocalyptic wasteland single player, story game, people really liked it for that.
Okay,
it gives you a much more hardcore Metro or Fallout experience that you don't get really in any other game. of this type.
Okay, because from the gameplay stuff that Eric is showing, like it looks super polished. I remember that earlier trailer and absolutely was like, games don't look like this. Like this is not what a video game looks like. But like, yeah, if they can ship, like, I guess that, like, what it looks like they're trying to ship, like it seems like the audience for it will be pleased, but like I don't know if I'm that audience, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
You are definitely not the audience for this type of game.
Yeah.
You would not like this.
Yeah, I'm curious if like this does feel like the kind of game that could be like a graduation to the next level for a franchise. You know, a little bit like Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen felt like this is like a real game as opposed to Lords of the Fallen. Not that that Lords of the Fallen 1 and Stalker 1 are not in the same category, but you know, it does feel like it could be a big leap, and obviously the development has a fascinating story behind it too. So yeah, like Nick said, well, good chance we'll see it at Microsoft Showcase on Sunday. Eric with his arses, finally some Nintendo on my PlayStation. You know what? That's what Astro Bot is. Astro Bot's just a little bit of Nintendo.
You had that with Sackboy.
Or Sax. Put Sackboy on Nintendo.
I never played the straight up platformer, but I always thought that Little Big Planet was kind of whack. Like as a game.
You should play Sackboy is way better than Little Big Planet.
It's way better. Okay.
Sackboy is literally PlayStation's Mario.
That's a real fun co-op game. You'd have a fun time playing with the kid. Like, I think you'd have a great time. Also, there's one level set. Britney Spears is toxic. Great level.
Yeah.
Imagine a platform
like
level
music levels.
Yeah.
Oh, so Sony does have a music division. Are they leveraging that for like?
I never even thought about that.
Catalog?
Like maybe I think there was a David Bowie song. I'd be curious if they were just pulling from their own library.
Sackboy had quite a few licensed songs in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they felt like those levels in the Rayman Legends and Origins.
Oh yeah, those were good.
Those were cool. Again, it's fun. Jewel Rao re-upped in the tip jar. Thank you so much, Jewel. And then a pair of messages. First, I'm with a €5 dono. I'm glad Monster Hunter World popped off, and then we get to see the franchise getting the budget it truly deserved. Time to get hunting again. Yeah, that franchise is obscene how big that franchise is. And it just keeps growing. Again, it kind of feels like Persona in a bit, where it like felt kind of niche and kind of bigger in Japan. But then I think with Monster Hunter Worlds, I guess, was probably the one that really like felt like it kicked through into the West and like became like a really big sensation. And so it is cool to see the series continue to grow.
Like we gotta steal more shit from Japan, because like this keeps happening. Like the Japanese are on
Shit's
something.
Cool, yeah.
It makes its way over to the West, and then it blows up because the West is the tastemaker in terms of like what's popular everywhere else, right? But like clearly Japan knows what's going on.
Yeah, Yakuza TV show coming to Amazon.
Who's? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Coming in October. And then Jewel with another €2. Thank you so much. I look forward to Kinutsugami. That was the game Nick mentioned, the Capcom game, and Wukong and Adventures Nigh, unless AIN is another game. Adventures Nigh remastered.
There's an Adventures Nigh game coming out.
Incredible. Wukong, I forgot. That's still set for August.
Yeah, August 20th.
Do you think that'll be?
Yes.
Do you think that'll be Eliza P, or do you think that'll be a?
I don't know.
That existed.
The last showing for that wasn't great, in my opinion.
The preview said it's more of a traditional action game than it is a Souls game, so that has me very interested.
Mm-hmm.
I think that game's looking good every time they're showing it off, so I'm excited for it.
I don't know, I watched like extended gameplay, and it looked a little more jank than I would have thought, but it'll probably be fine.
That's really hopeful of you. I like that.
I mean, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah. What else are we gonna do?
It'll be good enough.
Wing Potato with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Never going to reach the heights of the best roadside picnic adaptation, Stalker the film. Stalker the film is great. I mean, that's a luminary behind it. Man, roadside picnic. So good. But we'll see about Stalker. I don't know. There's some games I have I am totally confident in. Astro Bot, totally confident in. The Wukong Stalker, we'll see. I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to shake my hand and I'm going to make the woo noise.
Yeah, if I get the opportunity, I will try all of them.
There you go. You heard it first.
I'm not going to
seek job.
I might seek out Wukong. I want to know if Wukong is good.
There you go. The only game we don't have to worry about is Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi will be fine. Speaking of Dokkaebi, let's talk about Summer Game Fest. We're here.
Hey.
It's finally happening. Summer Game Fest. Sony kicked things off last week. It is getting into full gear tomorrow at noon with the Guerrilla Collective Showcase, which is going to be a lot of very cool indie games that they've already announced. And then obviously the first biggie is going to be Summer Game Fest live on Friday evening, starting at 4 p.m. Central. The three of us will be live then watching that. That's the big, the Jeff Keighley produced one. And immediately followed by Day of the Devs, Devolver Digital, and there's a sneaky little Metaphor ReFantazio showcase that got showed. We don't have to stay for that one.
Mhm.
But even if we're no longer live, I'm still going to be talking to the non-functional camera in front of me and live reacting to Metaphor ReFantazio. So there you go.
Well, you guys
Saturday,
I'm gonna run off to the restroom.
Okay, go for it. And then Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. Central, is going to be just back-to-back smaller showcases: Future of Play, Wholesome Direct, Latin American Games Showcase, Women-Led Games Showcase, Future Game Show. Again, hella cool indies there. And then Sunday, starting at noon, will be the Xbox Showcase, followed by the big old Black Ops 6 footage, I guess full reveal, and the PC Gaming Showcase. And then Monday, 2 p.m. Central, is going to be Ubisoft Forward, which obviously they have two big games in the fall, in AC Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. So it's going to be interesting to see what else they got showing out there. Let's start with Summer Game Fest Live.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things around this. They've confirmed some of the games that are already going to be there, including, we mentioned Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I know Nick is super excited about. Did you ever get into that first one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's more medieval, whatever. Like,
yeah,
pass.
I feel the same way. Nick's not here to defend it, and I feel bad. But
Toasty is. Let us have it, Toasty.
The aforementioned Metaphor ReFantazio from the Persona team, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. You got any temperature on Sparking Zero?
That thing is pure fan service to the Budokai crowd.
Yeah,
and I did play Budokai back in the day. It was fun then. I don't think its gameplay holds up. Like, there's a much better Dragon Ball Z fighting game in Fighter Z, whatever you want to call it.
The Arc System Works one.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, maybe this is a revamp of that older arena fighter, because it's not following the formula of current anime arena fighters. It's following the old formula of Dragon Ball Z specific arena fighting. And so, like, I do think there's more meat there, but it's still kind of like very just button mashy gameplay. But I don't know. Maybe they are refining it with this, and it'll be different. But I don't know. But at a base
Budokai
level,
does have a huge, like, there's people who are crazy nostalgic for Budokai.
Yes, absolutely. But like, I'm happy that they are getting this, because they've been waiting for this
game.
Yeah. So like, if I get a chance, I'll try it out, see if there's merit there. But like, I don't have high hopes for this kind of thing. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be different.
No.
It looks great. They always look great.
Oh yeah. And it seems like they're like, it's so funny. Like, they're just like making huge events out of the character reveals of like 30 different versions of Goku. And people are like stoked for each one, which I get. Like, if they were like, there's 30 different links in Smash, I'd be like, I want to know about each one.
I mean, tell me about all the links.
Exactly. It's fair. Also, it hasn't been officially confirmed, but Remedy has been super teasing the Alan Wake 2 first DLC set, which is going to be on the Night Spring, like seemingly set around the fictional TV show inside the world of Alan Wake, the Night Springs.
Yeah.
So and obviously Keighley's had a good relationship with them. They did their big dance number at the Game Awards and everything.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was really fun, right? And then Slitterhead, they announced today, is getting its first gameplay showcase. That is the spooky game from the Bokeh Games, which is a new Japanese studio that also I think was revealed during a Keighley thing a few years ago. That game is notable because that studio is founded by a lot of the leads who worked on the original Silent Hill and and like Team Siren and everything at Sony. So they very much seem like, if Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't feel like it understands what Silent Hill was about, this seems like that is that thing. Whether this team still has it, whether this new team, still has the juice. Yeah.
Like that. So there were a lot of Silent Hills made, right?
Correct.
But like, was it different people from that original and second Silent Hill team?
Yeah, it's
Like, so
confusing.
what were
There's
they
like almost like
doing
different
after that? I'm wondering.
directors. They kind of branched out. Like the people who made the first Silent Hill created this Team Siren, and then they made these. Do you remember those horror games Siren for like PS2 and 3?
I
I
think
believe.
so. So they
Yeah,
branched off that early.
yeah, it's weird.
They left
The
that.
development of those games, like there are some folks like Akira Toriyama, obviously the composer and like some of the monster designers and everything like maintained on the game, but it is there's like weird stories about the development of those games, and the reason 1, 2, 3, and 4 all feel very different is because they did have very different teams.
Mm,
Which sadly one of the things is also just by the nature of Japanese games, we just don't know a lot about that story. A lot of it is like through secondhand accounts and everything. We just
right.
don't have, they tend to be pretty lock and key when it comes to stuff like that. 2K has announced that a big game, a new game in one of their biggest franchises is going to be there. The money is on Borderlands. It's been Borderlands
Yeah, it's
3
been a
was what,
while.
6 years ago. There we got
And
the
they
Tiny
did
Tina thing.
Wonderlands, yeah, a little after that.
Wonderlands, yeah. So it feels like it's gonna be Borderlands. It could be Mafia, it could be BioShock. It's been forever since we've
Oh
seen
my God,
BioShock,
yeah,
but
yeah, and they've been talking about whatever reboot that they are doing. Oh, is it a sequel? Did they say one way or the other?
they haven't said one way or another. I think the problem is the game has been like rebooted several times. I think it's just had a lot of creative problems behind the scenes, and so that maybe sometimes that happens and a good game comes at the end of it, but sometimes that is an early warning sign of
Yeah,
turmoil.
it's not. It's not usually what happens. Is that a good game?
No, it's nope. And yeah, it could be Civilization. That's true. Could be the Civ 6 was a long time ago, so it could absolutely be true.
Like, I know people
And
love that game. That would be so disappointing.
if that was the big,
for
yeah,
me.
there'd be
I'd be
millions of people would be stoked.
so
And I'd be
turned
like,
off.
I'm glad you're happy. And then they also announced Neva, which is the follow up from the Grease team. Grease, Gris.
Yes, yeah.
Which is cool. Like there's, when we get in the meat and potatoes, I'm hoping to see follow ups of a lot of my favorite indies of the last few years, because it seems like the time is getting closer for that. And then Blumhouse Horror, which has Blumhouse, the film horror production company, is getting into games, and they have a ton of talented people there, and so they're gonna, I believe, showing off like their first slate of what spookiness they got in store. Those are just the things they've announced. Obviously, there's going to be plenty more they haven't announced.
So this isn't tied to games, the Blumhouse thing?
No, it is. It is. They've created like a game division.
Okay, so so they will be talking about games and not just spooky
yes, yeah.
movies.
It's almost
okay.
like yeah, like when Annapurna Interactive, like Annapurna was a film production company, and then they're like, we have a video game line, and so they're just going to be doing games.
All right, and their focus is going to be like their films on like spooky
stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You can go to the bathroom.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
You can just leave. You can leave during the spookiness. You could do Nick. Nick was too scared of talking about Blumhouse. That's why he left. Yeah, and then so those are the big things we know about at the Summer Game Fest. Nothing's been, I think, aside from Black Ops, nothing's been concrete about Xbox. Although obviously there's a lot of educated guesses you can make on stuff like supposedly coming later this year, like Vowed, like the Starfield DLC, like Indiana Jones, seeing what's going on with Forza.
There's been some scuttlebutt about Gear 6, but I feel like I've been hearing that mainly from Nick. Like I don't know if I've seen that anywhere else.
Nick scuttlebutt. It feels like this is a summer to show Gear 6. Like I don't think it'll be like a giant reveal, but I think a cool trailer, cool teaser.
The insiders have all been saying Gear 6 is coming between Jez Corden and Jeff Grubb.
And I only care about what the outsiders say. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
Their track record has been pretty good on Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super stoked to see that. If it is, because a lot of Xbox studios are messing around with Unreal Engine, and after seeing Hellblade 2 and the technical craft there, I'm ready to see more of these UE5 games utilizing all that tech.
Wasn't there talk of Halo getting started on a Unreal 5 project? No?
Yeah, there was. Who knows what's going on with Halo at this point?
Wow.
No idea.
You just wanted to sweep that away as quickly as possible. We're not talking about Halo.
Dude, You know what? Gears of War is the new like mainstay Xbox franchise. Halo's had its day.
Friendship.
I don't know if
with
Gears of
Halo
War.
over Gears of War.
I don't feel like Gears of War can carry that burden. Like I love Gears of War, but like it's not singularly character facing in the same way that Halo and Master Chief is. So I don't know. I feel like that's rough.
Gears to me always
Halo's hurt me enough. Let me have this.
Well, Gears to me felt I view Gears like I view Metroid. I don't think Metroid is in the same stratosphere as Mario and Zelda, and there's been masterpieces in both series. Usually the games are good, but it just does feel like it's one step down. I mean, Super Metroid, I guess, is an absolute masterpiece. So maybe I regret everything I just said, but that's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I don't know. I think like between Gears 5 and like High Busters, if I think the Coalition could.
So good.
Yeah, I think the Coalition definitely could become like the main studio for Xbox, and they've let them cook on Gears 5, 6 for a long time. So,
does Xbox need a main studio?
I think they need a studio that like you point at, like PlayStation does for Naughty Dog. I do think they do need that.
I think the
studio that also has Santa Monica and also has Insomniac.
Well, you have to start somewhere. I think at least for Xbox, they need a studio they can point to that says like, "Hey, we put out consistently good releases that push the bar each time they do it." And I think the Coalition can be that with Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of turn 10, but like their series is a niche. Like racing doesn't blow the world away.
But they're also working on Fable now.
No, Playground Games is working on
Fable. Yeah, Playground is on
Fable. Turn 10 only does racing games.
Fuck, I knew that.
Playground.
All my car boys look alike. I can't tell the difference in all my car boys.
Playground. If Playground nails Fable, they could be that another one of their marquee studios that they point to for, because I think they're pretty close with that Forza Horizon, but Forza it's just it's a racing game.
Do you think Fable can carry that weight? Like, can it stand in like maybe not in the position of a Master Chief and the Halo, but like maybe like alongside it in terms of like?
I mean, I feel like fantasy action RPGs are more popular now than ever. Like we haven't had a proper Fable game since Witcher 3, and like Witcher 3 was one of those kind of like generation defining games. Not saying this will be Witcher 3, but it feels like in a post Game of Thrones, post Witcher kind of, I don't know, fantasy seems more popular than ever now. So it seems like if Fable really knocked out of the park, it could be a really big thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of big ifs though. Do you think we see Fable?
We should.
I do.
Yeah, I would think so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I want to run down a list of games that I've dubbed MIA. Mostly that just things we haven't seen or heard about in a while. Not that I don't think these games exist, but I just wanted to get a temperature check and see if we're gonna, if you guys think we'll see these at some point this weekend. A couple of things are Xbox things at the top. We mentioned Fable, Perfect Dark. Casey.
That's I don't have words for how upset I am about whatever's going on with Perfect Dark. But in this current climate, I don't imagine that they have anything to say about it. Like they just closed a bunch of studios. Like they're not saying anything about any of the other work that's going on. Like it's super quiet. I feel like if there was motion on Perfect Dark, we would have heard about it. Someone would have said somewhere that something was coming. I feel like that project is just in the void right now.
Oh damn! Not the good void either. Not the outrage void.
The bad void.
Yeah, the bad void. Nick, Everwild. Do you think Rare's? Speaking of games that have seemingly had troubled productions, Rare's big kind of,
I don't know,
whatever Everwild. I guess we don't even know what Everwild is.
The last Xbox showcase they did. How many showcases ago? They said we're only showing stuff in the next 12 months, and then people didn't like that. So then the showcase after, I think they said, okay, we'll show you stuff that's coming down the line too, right? Isn't that the flip flop they did, or do I have it backwards?
No, I think you might have it backwards, but I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember them saying every one of these games is coming out in the next 12 months, and I believe one of them was Starfield, and Starfield got delayed an entire year. So,
yeah, and then they flip flop on that and went back to, okay, we'll show you stuff that's coming down the line too. I think they need to be. I think they need to be careful right now, especially after shutting those studios, about like giving things that people can really look forward to. So I think, clearly, Avowed, I think is going to be their front facing title for this showcase, because that's really their next big marquee release. I would say.
Yeah, I mean that feels like it's going to kind of be like Outer Worlds though, which is like feels.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
Mid-ranged.
Well, they already set expectations for that. It's not Skyrim. They're a more story focused, smaller scoped, Obsidian game.
They set those expectations for Hellblade though, and that didn't go well.
Yeah, like this is a pattern, honestly, that like Xbox as a brand has been promising us the next generation since the Series X was announced, and every studio they eat up, their output is like, hey, we are not responsible for delivering that. We were doing this little thing over here. So like, I don't know why you're looking at our game as if this was going to be the next. Like, go talk to Xbox proper about that. So like that seems a bit concerning. Like, where is the big one?
I think that's Fable. I definitely think that's Gears 5. I think that's Gears 6, and I think that's Fable.
And then before that conference, they're gonna come out and be like, hey, Fable is not this big expensive thing. Like, it's a small personal story about it.
Nah.
Listen, as someone who likes keeping expectations in check, I don't mind that. But yeah, that is pretty funny. Another game announced years and years ago. Still haven't seen Contraband.
I was confusing that with Concord.
Oh yeah, no, this was the one. Like the teaser showed nothing other than like jungle based. It seemed like a co-op kind of like we're doing a heist in the jungle game. It was like a camera panning over like a
Contraband.
Contraband, yeah.
Contraband's like the leaks about it, where it's a vehicle combat game.
Like a car combat sort of thing.
Oh, I don't. You know what? I don't read the leaks. I don't like getting spoiled, Nick. I don't pay. I don't pay.
Well, I mean, the whole trailer's
$99 to get YouTube. What do you mean a desert? No, it's like a little shack. We're seeing it right now in the jungle shack. That's exactly what I was telling you guys. They have a big jungle shack.
Yeah.
Game going.
Well, yeah. A lot of people have been going back to play the Mad Max game, myself included, and I forgot like how good the vehicle combat is in that game. It was good in Rage 2 as well. So definitely a game I'm interested to know more about. I think the premise of it from the leaks sounds really interesting for a multiplayer game. I was kind of saying, I don't remember what stream I was saying it on, but like the multiplayer games that seem to be taking off right now are like unique in their objectives, where Concord just looks like you shoot everybody 5v5 again, but like the multiplayer games that are blowing up are Lethal Company, Phasmophobia, Helldivers, all these games that have like that aren't just competitive. They're fun objective based modes.
Yeah, PvP.
This isn't Contraband, is it?
No, this is Mad Max.
That Mad Max.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was looking down there and I was like, they didn't show all this shit. Yeah. So we'll see. Those are like, do you think they show big guns? Like, do you think they mention Elder Scrolls 6?
No.
I don't think they have anything to show for it. And they did.
No.
They burned that card already. Like they mentioned it before. So like, if they don't have nothing to show, if they don't have anything more to show, they need to shut up about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Show the logo. Some more games. Wonder Woman.
Oh no, I forgot about that. I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Or literally like today or yesterday that came out that said the game was struggling, or the game is struggling.
Every game's struggling. Why is every game struggling?
Seems like most of Warner Bros. Games are struggling because they keep trying to make everything live service.
Not our Warner Brothers.
Do you think Wonder Woman might be in that camp?
I don't.
That's what the report said.
The report said that.
No, the report said Wonder Woman's struggling. Yeah, that's the game we're talking about.
That's what I was saying.
No, but struggling from having live service stuff implemented. That's what I'm
Oh no.
I don't trust.
What was just called Wonder Women?
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know. I imagine Warner Bros. it was like, hey, Hogwarts Legacy was the best selling game, and Suicide Squad was the worst selling game.
Yeah.
One of these might do better than the other.
Yeah.
Maybe we should pivot away. And then Multiverse is going through a lot of bad feedback right now because its monetization sucks. So
it seems like the changes they made to the game were like, but they made the game worse. That's not good. Don't do that.
I think they made the gameplay better, but then they got greedy.
Rip. Rip Multiverses. Star Wars Eclipse, the David Cage Star Wars game that was revealed 2.5 years ago.
Are we just on Summer Game Fest proper now? Or are we done talking about Xbox?
Oh no, Nick. When you were in the bathroom, we said we're just doing a bunch of. I'm listing a bunch of. I'm listing a bunch of games that have not been there in a while, and so just wondering if you think we'll see these at any places.
Nah, I don't think we see Star Wars Eclipse. I think that's like maybe Game Awards. I don't think Sony. I don't even think Disney would want to market it right now with the Outlaws coming out so soon.
Yeah, that is true. Feels like that might be TMS. Too much Star Wars. Too many stars.
Too many stars.
Too many stars. Project 007, which is from IO Interactive, the Hitman 3 team. Hitman was 3 years ago, 21, I believe. And they've been working on a James Bond game. We don't know anything about it other than it is called Project 007. Feels like we could be in a zone to see something. That feels like
that
it could
seems
be a
like
25, 26 game. Yeah.
Enough time for at least a meaty showing of like what they have so far, and like maybe not a release date, maybe a window. But like they should be if that has been going okay, I would say by now they should have been turning the corner in terms of delivering. Because I am excited about that.
Do you see Dokkaebi?
No, I don't think we're gonna see Dokkaebi.
The Big D? You don't think we're gonna see the Big D?
I'll be pleasantly surprised should it show, but I don't think we'll see.
Crimson Desert from them is planned to be out before Dokkaebi, and we've seen Crimson Desert. We saw a big showcase of Crimson Desert last year.
You know what that means?
Last year?
Dokkaebi.
Yeah, they showed off a whole big trailer for it.
Oh, wasn't that the game where it just started to become every other game?
Yes, it has everything in it.
Yeah. It did a Dokkaebi thing where like it was like, this is what the game is. Like, this.
What if we find out that Crimson Desert is Dokkaebi?
Crimson Desert is just another island of Dokkaebi.
The same
There's one
game.
super realistic fantasy island and one really colorful weeby island. I want to live
like
in
the final trailer is like one of those Dokkaevi big head kids comes up in front of like this big warrior man and they just like bump fists.
Yeah, I think definitely don't think we hear about Dokkaevi again until Crimson Desert is out.
Yeah, that seems that seems safe.
In terms of stuff, this trailer, that's wild. I forgot about it completely afterwards.
I mean, we watch like a million of these trailers, so they all get kind of like nuked from my brain after these showcases. In terms of stuff you want to see, stuff you hope we'll see, big, small, stuff we know of, pie in the sky stuff. What are some things you'd be stoked to see this weekend?
Did you guys already mention Borderlands?
We did not. We mentioned the in terms of we mentioned all the stuff that I have here under games confirmed. So we mentioned the confirmed 2K game, and that it sounds like that it's going to be Borderlands. Yeah. Even though some people in chat were getting excited about Civ 6 or 7, whatever Civ they're up to, 10, Civ 10.
Yeah, I think it's I would put Borderlands over any of that with the Borderlands movie coming out this year. They probably saw what happened with Fallout and said, yeah, let's tie these two together. After I literally just played through Tiny Tito's Wonderlands over the weekend, so I was kind of like, you know what?
Did you like it?
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good time with it. I didn't like do all the side mission stuff because it got pretty repetitive, but at least the scripted missions were fun. But yeah, I definitely like kind of forgot how much fun those games can be. I didn't really like Borderlands 3 all that much, but I loved Borderlands 2 and 1. So yeah, I kind of want to see them take another crack at it and what a next gen Borderlands looks like.
That's what I thought 3 was going to be, and was kind of disappointed.
The gameplay was good, just the story and the world were pretty damn boring.
It still felt like too much of the same. Like it didn't feel all that different from 2, which I did love and play the shit out of. But like I loved and played the shit out of it like 6-7 years ago, and like I was expecting like them to try their hand at something new. So if this is that, I will my ears will perk back up. But 3 and Wonderlands did not change enough.
Yeah, and it's been what 2012 was Borderlands 2, so it seemed like, I have to imagine there's been so much turnover at Gearbox since then that it's one of those like the institutional knowledge. I don't even know if it's still there. So you're like, even if there is a Borderlands, and the same thing like if a new BioShock game, whenever that comes out, it's like none of these people worked on BioShock. So,
well, we've got like 3 different not BioShock games coming. I think they can take more time with that if they want.
Yeah, don't worry, we got plenty of we have BioShock at home, including we have BioShock at home made by the guy who made BioShock. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, any Casey, anything you're hoping for, looking forward to, things you'd put money on, or
nothing's coming to mind at the moment. There was like, I know Konami's on this whole Silent Hill revival thing, but like there was all this talk a little while ago about a Castlevania revival. I'd be super interested to see if that comes to light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Konami is doing right now, is that they're just like taking their old IP and trying to be like, okay, can we undo some of the knots we've created in these from Silent Hill 2, trying to do it with Metal Gear, with the collections, with Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, Snake Eater, whatever the hell that game is called. And so it seems like Castlevania would make sense as the next one they're doing that for. They were going to re-release Suikoden 1 and 2, which I don't know where that game went. I just literally just thought of that like they announced that 2 years ago. Castlevania does seem, because Castlevania also seems like it's like consistently been in the like pop culture conversation because the anime, like people really like that show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that show is out and doing fantastic. So like you said, if 2K has any interest in that sort of brand synergy, Konami would be, slobbering over themselves to try to get in on that.
Yeah.
And also Metal Slug, that's a Konami joint, right? No,
it's Contra.
That's SNK. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Contra is kind of, but Metal Slug Tactics, I believe
I just saw that drop, and that actually, that came out of left field. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think
I don't know if we'll see more at what's the name, but that's Steam Deck. Okay,
probably one of the showcase. I'm sure one of like the like Guerrilla or someone might show it there. Right. I don't know. I don't think it's a Devolver game, but yeah. In terms of Xbox stuff, like I keep holding my breath for Banjo. And it like started as a joke, but now it's like this would make sense. And they have several studios that feel like they could do it. Like it feels like it could be a Double Fine joint. That feels like it could now be a Toys for Bob joint.
I feel like that's gonna be Toys for Bob's first project.
Yeah,
I don't
unless
see
it's just Crash 5 or new Spyro, right?
I think
because they own that too now. Shit, they just put them all in the same game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no!
They tried that with like Skylanders.
No, Banjo is on another tier. I will not have him sullied by that short wearing menace or that weird little purple dragon.
One of the games that I was hoping to see and we will see is another trailer for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah, I mentioned that one too.
So excited for that.
We actually made fun of it while you were here, and I said, "Oh, Nick's not here to defend the game." You didn't. You should have watched the show while you were in the bathroom.
I'll rewind earlier. Yeah, as far as like studios with unannounced stuff, like I'm still waiting to see what the hell That's No Moon is doing. They've had $100 million investment, so just something big cooking there. They did actually say on their Twitter, I think a couple of weeks ago, that it's not Star Wars.
But maybe they did a wink afterwards.
Maybe they did a wink. Yeah, it could have been like they shot first, but
it does seem like. I don't think they would just name their company after the thing they are doing. That seems foolish. That's like getting like a tattoo of a job. Where it's like, well, don't get that because someday you might not work at that job.
Yeah. As far as other big projects, like I don't really know. Like I think I think I've said it like 3 years in a row. I'm like, please, Xbox. Like a lot of their lineup has me excited. I'm excited for Fable. I'm excited for Avowed. I'm excited for Contraband. Like I'm in Gears 5, Gears 6. I just want to see. I want to see them knock it out of the park. I want them to have their Sony moment where like they have their Uncharted 2 reveal, and I was like, okay, this is the future of Xbox for the next 10 years. Great, put it in my veins.
Like the problem with that is even if they do that, even if all their trailers and announcements are gold, like it's still in the back of your head that like none of this will actually come out. None of this will actually be the quality that we think it is because they've just failed so often. Like it's been up and down. Like every now and then they'll get something out and it is kind of dope.
what did they not release that they announced that? I don't know I don't really know what you're referring to.
They haven't, like, Perfect Dark is a big one that they announced. That has been in development hell.
But most of the games they've announced since the cancellations of Scalebound and all that have come out.
And when they do come out, they're not great. Like that, like it's either they don't make it to the finish line, or once they do, they're like tripping and fumbling over themselves.
It's Halo, it's Redfall, it's Starfield,
yeah.
It's now Hellblade. It's games that like
it's like all the stuff that you do get excited about. Yeah, like they come out and they don't hit the mark.
Yeah,
and that takes a toll. They've set up, like they built up a case for the future, and like we're here. Like that was like 7 years ago. Like we're here in the future that they promised, and like nothing has changed. So like I'm tired. I'm exhausted of it.
Yeah, I guess context wise, like 343. I mean, since Halo 4 was in trouble, they just never really hit Halo like they wanted to. But I mean, as far as like the Gear series has been fine. Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, and all that have done extremely well. That's a game.
Yeah, they've had like little successes here and there. Like I'm not saying it's been a total wash, but like nothing to the extent that we were kind of promised, and that we as fans, like I'll fully admit I'm an Xbox fan. Nothing to the extent that I was hoping for. Like they should have been on par with PlayStation at this point, and they absolutely are not.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. As we say every year.
Every year.
It's just Charlie Brown in the football. It's like genuinely Charlie Brown in the football. Like he's like, oh, this time definitely not going to pull it away from me.
Well, at least with Halo, like they finally made a leadership change and got rid of everybody that was running that studio, because they were running it to the ground. But that also comes back to Microsoft's issue with contractors and basically not even hiring people to run their studios. So I don't know, but I think the games I'm just most interested in seeing are like stuff like Fable and all that. Like it just, Xbox is such a wild card. You kind of never know what you're gonna get. That kind of makes them exciting, also disappointing at the same time. There's the rumor of that Horizon Lego game, which I can't say I'm really at all interested in.
I like this. It is insane that I like Lego games and I do not care about Horizon. So I'm like, ooh, a Lego game, and they're like Horizon. I'm like, oh,
yeah, like Sony's Horizon.
Yeah.
That's an odd pairing.
I feel like I'm consistently being gaslit that Horizon is a bigger deal than it actually is, and I understand it sells insane amounts and like I think is just really popular, but I do not know any like hardcore Horizon fans.
It's James Cameron's Avatar.
It's Avatar. Yeah, it really is.
I'll give one point here to a Lego Horizon game where like if it's just like a sandbox open world Horizon game with giant fucking mechanical dinosaurs and stuff, that actually appeals me more than like all the side questy bullshit in the most recent Horizon game, even though I liked it.
That just sounds like the same game to me, honestly.
I think we're being hoodwinked.
Right? That's man. Horizon's one of those games where like if they actually took it down, got it away from being overly story focused and cinematic, and just let you play around the sandbox, I think it would fare better with at least with critics, at least.
I had a couple ones I wrote down. I'm 50-50 on the possibility of a Persona 6 teaser. If only because that obviously Metaphor ReFantasio is, which we know is going to be there, is the big game from the Persona 3, 4, and 5 leads. And it feels like Atlas and Sega are having a hard time marketing that game. Like it feels like other than like, this is from the Persona team, please look at this.
Look what they named it. Like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's a really bad name.
Like, even though the game, when you look at it, is like, oh, this is like this is just the core of Persona with the Alien Fantasy world with like it's kind of more political elements to it. But I'd be curious if with like no concrete Persona things on the horizon other than the gacha Persona 5 game possibly coming to the West, which, man, I'm going to spend so much. If that game comes to the West, I'm going to be financially ruined. They revealed that one of the new characters you can buy is an old lady, and she's got a persona. So it's like an old lady bandit. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to spend so much money on this old lady bandit. This fucking golden girl.
You're selling me. Is that the name of her persona? Golden girl.
So maybe they tease it. It sounds like this game's been worked on for a long time. I heard its color is green. If you guys want to, that's a little insider info. Its color is green. Persona 3's color is blue. Persona 4's color is gold.
I thought you were still talking about Metaphasio.
See ya. I also, from Capcom, I want to see a Mega Man Legends collection. They've done collections for Mega Man proper. They've done collections for X. They did collections for that RPG series that you didn't like and everyone got mad at you. Now it's time to do Legends. Bring the boy home.
They've got more of the RPG collections to get through. Like there's like that friggin' Star Force.
There's a Star Force.
Star something. Starlink. I don't know. There's like 2 other Mega Man series that are based in like that sort of Pokemon card battle-esque world. They would probably touch those first. But like, aren't there only like 2 Legends games?
And there's the Misadventures of Tron Bonne. You always, every time we bring up Mega Man Legends, you refuse to put any.
Is her name Mega Man? Is her name Mega Man?
You know what? She was in Marvel's Capcom 2. Her and the little surf bots.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Tron.
Oh, it's just a lady and a robot with a bunch of little robots.
What is that game? Is that a fun game? Do people like that game?
It's weird. It's like 3 different games in one. There's like 3 distinct different gameplay styles. Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. I'm like knee deep in Mega Man Legends now because that's the gonna be one of our episodes of Archive, the upcoming retro show. So maybe this is just like me being like completely. And now I'm realizing a bunch of my things are like also like, oh, maybe they'll bring back Dino Crisis. I'm like, that's another one. Whoa, Skies of Arcade. That's another episode. What am I doing? This is just like just reading the show wishful thinking. I'm curious if we see what Mobius Digital has been working on. That is the Outer Wilds team. Outer Wilds came out in 2019. The Echoes of the Eye DLC was 21 or 22. And I'm just curious, like, what does that team do next? Like, that's always the crazy thing to see. You know, it feels like they're in that like echelon to me of like Team Cherry or the Stardew Valley guy, where it's like you release like a monumental generational game. What do you do next? And obviously, like, Team Cherry is working on more Hollow Knight, you know, with Silksong and everything. But
building upon it,
they continue that world. Yeah,
like I think the Outer Wilds team, Mobius, like it's a little different for them because I don't even think they were game devs really when they started, right? Like they were like some sort of like sciencey physics dudes, and like they had a school project that was sort of this sort of modular solar system thing, and then it became a game after the fact.
They got Masaoka to help.
Right, freaking hero himself.
Yeah, Hiro Nakamura. Yeah.
But I'd be willing to bet that they don't double down on what Outer Wilds was, and that they do something fully out of the box if they are continuing to do something. Because otherwise, they might just be like, "Oh, well, we're tech guys. Like, we'll give out, like, we're gonna." The thing they would have to show is a tech demo that other people can use because they were never like into games at that stage in the first place. But I don't know. Because of this, they might be like, "All right, well, what other like super weird brainiac ass idea can we turn into a gaming experience?" So I don't think it'll be anything like Outer Wilds if they do have something to show.
Yeah, we're at I'm curious in terms of those indie follow-ups, like, you know, if we see the non-crank follow-up to Return of the Obra Dinn from Lucas Pope, if we do see like Silksong, there is Keeley said no Silksong at Summer Game Fest. However, Xbox has the marketing rights to that because it's coming to Game Pass. So shadow drop at Xbox.
You think it'll shadow drop?
Sure, why not?
Like it'll just.
Could you imagine them coming out like a week and a half before
they need to just shadow drop that game at this point?
Yeah,
because if they give a release date, people will not shut up about it. So just
they shouldn't even announce it.
Just set it the day of Shadow of the Erd Tree. Like, choose. It's just the fucking Joker snapping a pool cue in half, throwing it into the crowd and saying tryouts.
Yeah, they don't need to spend marketing bucks on that thing.
No, it'll be fine. yeah, I don't like in terms of indie, like there's just a bunch of indies I know are going to be there from just developers being like, oh, stay tuned for our next thing. Like the Immortality team is working on a pair of games that they've already done kind of winkies that are going to be at one of the showcases. People do a lot of winkies on Twitter. I don't know if you noticed this, little coy winkies. There's just lots of winkies. And so yeah, I'm excited for a lot of these.
Heart Machine has a new game apparently being published by Devolver because they were just teasing it the other day, and it's very pixely looking.
And it's not
Hyper Light Breaker.
Yeah, that's weird.
No,
she's team big enough to have 2 games.
Well, they've had 2 games consistently now, because what was the other game they did before Hyper Light Breaker? Solar Ash.
Yeah.
Those were developed at the same. Those were developed.
Oh, I didn't realize at the same time. I thought they did a Solar Ash and then moved on to Hyper Light Breaker. Yeah, but yeah, maybe this is by the Solar Ash team. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I like Solar Ash. Yeah, I mean, there's. I'm sure we'll see cool shit, especially like that Friday night one's going to be between Summer Game Fest and then Day of the Devs and Devolver. I feel like there's going to be a lot of cool shit.
I need that release date for Baby Steps.
Yeah, if that's this year. It's crazy how like this has already been like a completely crazy bonkers banner year for indies. Like if you just cut it off now, like there'd easily be like it would be games that have a hard time getting into the shortlist for indie game of the year. And we have 6 months left in the year, so
yeah.
I'm just thinking about the idea of them shadow dropping Silksong after what they did to Hi-Fi Rush. Like that.
But it's not like Microsoft doesn't own
Microsoft doesn't own them.
Yeah. Like everyone gets worried. Like Microsoft's gonna close you down. Like guys, they can't.
I don't know. They don't own.
It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You don't know.
Now have shadow drop PTSD.
They bought so much. Who knows what parent company actually owns Team Cherry?
Embracer might own them. Who knows? Maybe Team Cherry was owned by the J.R.R. Tolkien Foundation.
You know what? That's a game. Speaking of Embracer, I desperately hope Gunfire Games is working on another Darksiders. I need it. I want it.
Didn't they finish all the Horsemen's?
No, they never did they never did a full game for Strife. There's Darksiders Genesis, which was made by Airship Syndicate, but it was a prequel co-op like top-down game. But we haven't had a proper Darksiders game yet for him, and I want it. I want it now.
I don't think he deserves one.
Don't you?
Wow. There, I said it.
What has Strife done for us lately?
Void him.
What has Strife done for us lately? Getting voided over a Darksiders opinion.
I did the Darksiders. I love it.
Nick, you can't you only love games you did documentaries for. All you want is
good games.
All you want is Hot Cheeto, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Darksiders.
And lie.
and lie. That's all you want. That's all you want. All I want is Banjo. I guess we all we did a little meme and you didn't understand it, Nick.
Yeah, that went over.
You're not in the same weird corners of the internet that we're on.
No, I'm not. And I'm happy for it.
Got a couple super chats that came in. Josh Knowles with $2 dono. Going back to our DBZ conversation. Kakarot is so fun. Asura's Wrath, but DBZ. Is that what Dragon Ball Kakarot's like? Because fucking I love Asura's Wrath. Just give me
wasn't that an open world RPG?
I thought Kakarot was an open world RPG.
Yeah.
I own the game. I haven't played it. Kakarot.
Probably a good call.
Find out. Kakarot to find out. I will play it, but I will watch the anime alongside it, and I will watch one episode of the anime, and I would say I will play up to this point. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be
that's not gonna be much game, I promise. Yeah. Like things move very slowly in that series.
And then Eric with more arses. Thank you so much, Eric. Xbox shooter, obviously Redfall 2. Eric, you can't talk about studios that got shut down. They don't have health insurance anymore.
I wonder. I was gonna say Microsoft has a lot of like third-party deals, and Certain Affinity has been working on something for a long time, and they've got a lot of stuff in development. I wonder if we maybe see that.
What? And Certain Affinity are the Halo folks?
Yeah, Certain Affinity is basically a support studio, but they've been working on their own original IP for a while now, and they showed it off. They showed off it to publishers, I believe, back at sometime last year, But then they've also, as far as I remember, Jez was talking about a game they've been working on for quite a while. That's not that game. And I forget what the details are on it, but you can look it up. And then their other game was like a Web3 thing that I was like interested in, and it never went anywhere.
I feel like as soon as the studio's like, we're doing a Web3 thing, I'm like, all right, peace. Go with God. Raymond Ward with $5 Thank you so much. I wonder if we get anything about Dragon Age 4. It should be out this year, but I can't trust EA. More Scuttlebutt saying, yeah. I mean, they announced last year that we were going to see Dragon Age this summer. Whether that is in one of these showcases or if EA does their own thing later on this summer. But the Scuttlebutt is, yes, we're going to see Dragon Age and possibly even more. I do think it is possible at this Microsoft conference we get a handful of collections of things. There's been talk about a Gears collection for quite a long time. I could see them doing it with the Fable trilogy, like a little zhushed up Fable 1, 2, and 3. And maybe someone does something with the old Dragon Age games. It's been a long time since Dragon Age, so maybe they want to get it back into people's memories, like they did the Mass Effect, whatever that was, Shepard Collection, or
on that certain Infinity game. It's called codename Project Suerte, and Suerte is reportedly a Monster Hunter inspired game, employed in big monster battles with multiplayer gameplay. The game is developed by Certain Affinity, and then I think Jez said he was expecting it for a 2023 reveal. What?
He said Jez.
Just Hoops?
No, he said Jez.
Jez Corden.
Oh, you can't. People don't know who Jez are. You can't just say Jez.
Well, I said his name earlier. You just weren't listening. But yeah, that might be one of those surprises we get at the Xbox showcase.
Speaking of Monster Hunter likes and EA, this is a serious question. Has EA done anything bad in the last 12, 15 months?
Oh, because you're thinking of what's it called? Wild Hunt? No.
Well, Wild Hearts, yeah.
Wild Hearts.
Yeah, the last couple of EA originals haven't been, microtransaction-y, nonsense-filled, whatever. They've been pretty awesome releases, like Tales of Kenzera being the most recent one. I'm trying to think, other outside of their staples, which are Apex Legends, which I don't think there's a ton of heat on.
No,
I don't think they didn't do anything crazy there. Battlefield has not been a train wreck since they sort of fixed a bunch of stuff in it. Are we still
Dead
mad
Space
at
was
EA?
really good. Dead Space was really good. No, it feels like the ISR
came
moved
out,
on, right?
It
seems like because we got last year had in terms of EA originals, Tales of Kenzera was a few months ago. Last year had Immortals of Avium and Wild Hearts, which Immortals of Avium was a good. You enjoyed Immortals of Avium, but that was
all of those things. I for some reason got to review and play, and I like them. They're not the same AAA nonsense, but they do have big budgets. But they feel like games. These are fun. They feel kind of like how AA did, but with maybe a little more budget attached to them.
We'll have to.
And it's I thought this is what we wanted EA to be doing. Why are we still mad at them?
We'll have to see. They have NCAA football coming back finally. We'll have to see how the monetization is for that. I'm really curious about that because if they're selling microtransactions based on the appearances of college players, I wonder if they get a cut of that.
I think that's why the game's coming back because
I think
they made a deal that they can't use they have to pay them to use their likenesses.
Right.
I'm not sure if that applies to microtransactions too, because if they have to pay out money to a bunch of athletes, they might actually be a little bit more careful about
egregious
with that game. But yeah, they've got Skate on the way too, which I'm interested to see on how that holds up microtransaction wise, because that has room to be very very lucrative for all the skateboard customization and all that character customization.
I saw people were tweeting out that there was a big press kit for that people in LA had for Skate, so I'm imagining we see that one in the showcases. They're also working on a Black Panther and an Iron Man game, and then there's that the Black Panther game is separate from the Captain America and Black Panther game set during World War II.
What they showed from that looked pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said this Black Panther one is separate from that game. We haven't seen anything actually core from their Black Panther game, so. Yeah, I'm curious if we see anything from Marvel in those games, or if I don't think Wolverine's far enough along for them to show it.
Oh, you think we'll see more of Blade?
No,
that feels like at the Game Awards they were like, it exists. See you guys soon. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess I would say like that. I'm much like Xbox. I'm super curious about Battlefield, what the future looks like for that franchise.
Yeah,
2042. It got there in the end for some people, but definitely never really reclaimed itself like it wanted to. So they just ended all support for it after the last update. So
Rip.
At least content
Rip
updates.
To the Battlefield.
Yeah.
They gotta put Gundams in it. They put Gundams in Call of Duty, and now Call of Duty's doing fine. Call of Duty was in a lot of trouble until they put those Gundams in.
I saw some footage of that.
I gotta run to the restroom again, but you guys can.
It looks terrible, doesn't it? It looks genuinely terrible.
It looks so bad. They've been messing around with anime in Call of Duty, right? And every time, at least that I've taken notice, it has looked terrible. Like the Attack on Titan crossover.
Yeah, that's right.
That looked really bad.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj looked great, weirdly enough. She's not an anime character, but it also seems incongruous with that world. But you know what? She looked fine.
Yeah. S6 with $10 Thank you so much, S6. Dreamhaven, Mike Morheim's new studio, just put out a call for playtesters. We haven't seen anything from that studio yet, so maybe they're going to start announcing. Mike Morheim was one of the co-founders of Blizzard. So I imagine Dreamhaven. Well, I guess I don't know. I always assume when someone co-founds something that does something else that it's like, oh, you're going to do something similar to what you're known for. So it's like, oh, you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know whether that means something like Warcraft, something like StarCraft, something like World of Warcraft. But yeah,
maybe he's just funding some other new creatives venture, right? Like he's got the connections and some upstart is going to be his money train.
Yeah, his money train. Love it. Love a nice money train. Joel Rao with €2. Thank you so much. Have some more money. I enjoy the content. Moi, uwu. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. They got a little uncomfortable at the end, but you know,
with a little bit of ooh. Blind Man V2 with a $2 dono. Thoughts on a new MMORPGs or CRPGs? I need time sinks. We appreciate your $2. I feel like we're the last people to ask about that.
Yeah, like Nick might have been the person to talk at all about both of those. Like maybe CRPGs more than the MMORPGs, but I think he's probably played a bit of both. I'm not a big fan of MMORPGs.
Yeah.
I haven't found a CRPG that has like really hooked me yet either, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the most popular one still going right now? It can't still be. It's Final Fantasy 14, right?
Probably. I don't. Yeah, player count wise, I don't know if WoW still has more over Final Fantasy 14. It feels like Final Fantasy 14 is the most beloved, I guess. But then there's some Guild Wars 2 shit just dropped, and people were really excited for it.
Elder Scrolls Online is still a thing too, right?
Like ESO still a thing. Yeah. I'm sure there's other. I don't know. Age of Conan, does that still exist? That might have been like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's Amazon's New World doing? I don't think Amazon's New World does it still exist?
Is that still going?
Sure.
Does Amazon have any games still go? Are they still a game publisher?
Sure.
Are we going to see
shape? I don't count like Destiny as like an MMO. I know Destiny is an MMO.
It's MMO adjacent. It borrows MMO elements.
I think of MMO as a lot of clicking. I know if you're playing on a mouse, Destiny is a lot of clicking, but Secret World, EverQuest, that can't exist anymore. EVE Online, that's a big one. We did a documentary on that. Nick's gonna come back and just be like, I want to talk about EVE.
It's my favorite game ever.
This is the greatest game ever.
Sorry, if it helps, Amazon Games confirmed that they will be on Summer Game Fest.
Gonna be there. Oh, look at that.
What
Jeffrey
Bezos could they possibly
himself
have to tell us? I have no idea what Amazon Games is gonna tell us about. More Fallout, like they don't even own it.
I want someone to get on stage and explain why I ordered a keyboard the other day, like just a little keyboard, like a cheap $5 keyboard for my Steam Deck when I have it docked, and it just came in a keyboard box. There's just no packaging around it. I don't want to know what's the deal with that. I don't mind it. It's just weird that there was like a keyboard box just left outside my house. I'm not mad. Curious. Not mad. I just want some explanations. Yeah, I mean, you're saving the environment, which is fine, which is great. The keyboard company. I call the keyboard company. What's happening, Eric?
I should check it. Amazon Game has Throne of and Liberty coming soon. Blue Protocol. So you have
okay. I've heard of Blue Protocol. I have heard of Blue Protocol.
Yeah.
That
was it is that like propaganda?
No, I don't think it is. It's an anime action hack 'em up or something like that. No. That might be an MMO, I think, but has like some of that flashy anime nonsense strapped into it.
Flashy anime nonsense. The biggies.
Wait.
Yeah, at this point we're kind of just babbling on things. So yeah, we'll obviously we're looking forward to all this stuff. First showcase tomorrow, the Guerrilla Collective will be at noon Central, and then all of the Friday festivities will begin at 4 p.m. Central, and that's when the three of us will be on for Summer Game Fest, Devolver, and Double Fine's Day of the Devs. I got a hard out in 20 minutes, but we got a couple. Everyone bring one thing to the table that they were really excited about. What was one thing we really liked? That we played, that we watched, that we ate.
That we ate.
All right, somebody chat was making jokes. No, I actually had a sweatshirt on because I was having shivers before the podcast.
You don't have to do the podcast, Nick. If
I am. Well, I will find out if I'm sick.
No.
But yeah, for my thing, I just blasted through Tiny Tina's Wonderlands over the weekend. Started on Friday night and finished it on Sunday afternoon. Had a really, really good time with it, actually. It was just kind of relaxing to play a shooter. Not really a whole lot to say about it because it's didn't really care about the story or anything. It was just kind of fun to run around, collect loot, and shoot shit for a while. But it did inspire me to jump right into Destiny: The Final Shape, which I've been really enjoying. I played some more of that this afternoon.
I like how you did a sneaky little twosome. I said you get one thing, you did a sneaky little twosome, which I like, because I was also going to ask you about the Acolyte, which will give you a sneaky threesome. Okay. Everyone loves a sneaky threesome.
I want to proclaim my threesome from the mountaintop.
Tell us.
Yeah, so I really haven't been that involved with Destiny since probably I think I did the Witch Queen campaign because I put it on my list of completed games, I believe. And I did not like Lightfall at all. I played through maybe the first couple missions of that. I was bored immediately. There was like nothing interesting about the environments or anything. But the Final Shape feels like a whole new game to me. You get like the whole new subclass, which mixes light and dark together, which is really neat. Everything feels like I have more control over my character in terms of like how I want my build to be. And then obviously the new location is the Star, which is like the most unique and interesting location they've done, I think, since I guess the Dreaming City, even though I think the Dreaming City...
that purple coast place, right?
Yeah. Forsaken was that really new cool location. I think the Dreaming City was more randomized stuff, correct?
I think you're thinking of the Infinite Forest, maybe?
Yeah, that might be what I'm thinking about. I don't remember. They all got kinds of weird.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, Destiny's got all. I love their dumbass naming schemes.
Yeah, at least as far as the Final Shape goes, though, this feels like what Destiny 3 could feel like to me. Much more like connected world, bigger areas to explore, much more varied combat encounters too. So I'm only about 4 missions in, but I definitely want to like get back to it tonight and play more. It's been a good time. And the story is like coherent to me. Even the story is actually coherent to me, even though I haven't like kept up with Destiny lore very closely.
Like, are
you gonna go through that, Casey?
All I needed was the slightest nudge of someone saying like, "Hey, this is pretty fun," and I was probably gonna do it. So
the reactions I'm seeing online, people are like, "Oh, this is like a real good campaign." So
fuck it. Yeah, I guess I gotta buy the Final Shape and try to get back into Destiny 2 again.
Just when you think you're out,
it feels like very old school Bungie, this campaign. Like big epic moments with like great music and everything. Just more of the Bungie I want to see, I will say.
Nice.
And I really hope if they do a Destiny 3, which I'm sure they will, I just want them to see them go like way more creative with their environments than they end up doing for a lot of Destiny 2.
Cool.
I think hot take, space is kind of boring. My hot take is the reason everyone Starfield's like everything's kind of boring. I'm like, you know what's boring? Space.
No, Starfield is boring.
Starfield
made
space is
space
boring out there. It's boring out there.
Realistic space is boring. Destiny's space is not realistic, and it's really cool looking.
I thought you just said it was boring though. You said you want less boring.
As a setting, space, you can put whatever you want in it. You can go to any planet, and the planet
as long
can
as
be
it's boring,
medieval
you can
times.
put it out there. As long as it's boring, there's no rules. The only rule is it's got to be boring.
I mean, Starfield adhered to that rule, so
I feel like Star Wars is the culprit of that because it's like, dude, imagination, stretch it. The sky is the limit. What about this desert planet?
What about all this sand?
What about the cheap rate on filming in Tunisia we had in 1977? Can we go back there? Sure.
I think the most interesting visually space game is Everspace 2. They use so much color in space in that game.
I liked Chorus. Their space was pretty colorful.
Oh, Chorvs?
Yeah, Chorvs.
Chorvs?
I almost brought that up this morning when Yahtzee was talking about female-led games, and I was going to say
Yahtzee loves a good Chorvs. I never played Chorvs, so I don't know anything about.
Yeah,
Chorvs.
the story is not a high point of that game.
The last space thing, Nick, you according to Twitter, you were underwhelmed by the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. I have not watched them yet, so I do not have an opinion.
Yes, it's.
I don't want to put your words in your mouth. Maybe you weren't underwhelmed by them, but that was
I'm trying to think of how to word it because like I know like I loved Ahsoka. I know a lot of people didn't. I really loved Andor too. So like my Star Wars taste kind of shifts. The problem I have with the Acolyte, visually it's really good. Like it feels like Andor and Ahsoka quality. Like I feel like they're really figured out like, hey, we can't use the whatever it's called for everything. Volume. Yeah, we can't use the volume for everything. The sections that do use the volume are still obvious, but there's still a lot more on location stuff that they did. The problem I have with the Acolyte is like it kind of drops you in the middle of the story rather than like the beginning, and so like almost immediately the pacing of the entire show feels off. Like I feel like I missed like a whole introduction that I needed, and it gives you like the show has an extremely cold open, which I'm not going to spoil, but you will be surprised by, considering the character art on the screen right now that Eric's showing. And then from there, it just kind of gets right into the thick of the plot, and I'm like, wait a second, like where's the world building? I need like we're in a whole new era of Star Wars in the High Republic, and I'm not getting any of this world building of like what's different about this era, why, it's just more Star Wars, right? It doesn't feel different, and especially because I've read the books. The books have a very maybe the word pompous feeling to them for like the Jedi. The Jedi are like they're at the height of their power.
Sure.
Everything's kind of
hubris.
It's a golden age.
To lead to their downfall. Yeah.
Yeah. Hubris and everything.
PS2 Sony era.
Yeah. Pretty much.
$600, $599.99. That's what the High Republic is now. You're all gonna lap it up.
But overall, like the casting is pretty good. The dialogue kind of is in the middle of like Ahsoka and Mandalorian, where it's a little bit choppy, a little bit like almost too to the point, and not enough like conversations like you had in Andor. So it's a middle of the road. I wouldn't say it's like the strongest first 2 episodes, but I mean I definitely still want to watch it. It's different. It's very different for Star Wars, which I like.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a very much you either like it or really don't like a show. And obviously,
and that's just what Star Wars is nowadays.
Yeah, that's what Star Wars is nowadays. It's not like that's what Star Wars has always been, aside from the original trilogy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like you can't just like everything.
Yeah.
Star Trek fans, you can't like everything in Star Trek, right? There's got to be stuff. Lord of the Rings, love those three Lord of the Rings movies. Get the fucking Hobbit out of here. What are we doing? I'd literally rather play Gollum than watch those Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, Grunger said the Star Wars fans set their standards too low. I don't even know what the standard is for Star Wars now.
I don't even know what a Star Wars fan is anymore.
Yeah, because like
Andor, I just want Star Wars made by someone who fucking hates Star Wars.
Because like hardcore Star Wars fans didn't like Andor, but like normal people that aren't as huge into Star Wars did.
Bunch of weenies. Speaking of shows, the one thing I'm bringing to the table, Not a video game. I'm rewatching House of the Dragon. What a program!
I was about to do
what
that.
a program!
Started tonight.
What a goddamn program!
How far are you?
6 episodes in of the 10. We did the time jump. It was sad to see. I thought those 2 actors, the 2 leads, were great, but the time jump I think works. It is very like rewatching it. It's and knowing where it's going. It's easier to keep up with. But I just remember in the time being like, "Fucking what? They got a bunch of kids now. Like, how did this happen? Like, weren't you a kid before? Now you got a bunch of kids.
Very quick. Yeah.
How many babies is this for you? Yeah, it's really good, and I'm really excited for season 2. That season 2 is kind of where I feel, Game of Thrones feels like by season 2 it really started coming into its own. Its budget was increased, had more and more viewership. I'm hoping to see that sort of step up, like more of a confidence in the storytelling, less set dressing. Like I think the time jumps are done. Like this is the era the show is set in now, as opposed to jumping 5 years every episode. So I'm really looking forward to it, and that premieres in 2 weeks, I believe.
All right.
It's good. Good summer for good month for kind of nerdy shows like that. We got The Boys coming back.
Yes. Sweet Tooth drops tomorrow. The last season of that.
I didn't know they're still making that. That's that's like
final.
Yeah.
That
was
Dear
good.
Boy.
Yeah, that was a
final
really
season
good
of it drops tomorrow.
I need to get back on that.
Yeah, season 2 is really good.
There you go. Casey, what about you?
I wanted to talk about this a while ago, but forgot. But not because it's bad. I watched The Book of Clarence, which is that Netflix movie starring Lakeith Stanfield. That's sort of like a black fanfic retelling of events surrounding like the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. It's a really out there premise.
Yeah.
Like it stars a character who essentially is a con man during that time period, and he, like, Jesus and his 12 disciples are out in the world, and he sees that as like a way to basically not be like a bum on the streets, and he kind of becomes sort of a counter messiah and creates his following. But like it's a like if you grew up in like the Catholic Church, if you know like these stories, like it adheres very well to those things, but then like kind of places things a little off center and makes you see them from like a slightly different perspective. It's like the perfect way to mess around in that setting, like the way a lot of like Greek mythology likes to just take things and like play with them. This feels more like this might have been how things happened. Like that might have been a person in that time period. Like that's how well they do it. It has a lot of the same energy of like in Atlanta, I would say, because like it's self-serious, but also kind of comedic and surreal all at once.
Sure.
And like it has a lot to say. Like it's not playing all of this storytelling. It's not playing in the Bible just for like shock factor. It has a message that is telling you over the course of the story, and it is fantastic. Like I ended up watching this next to my parents because we were all in California for that trip, and they're like Bible thumpers. They were glued to the TV because like they're like, oh, that's Barabbas, that's Pontius Pilate, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of cameos in this. Benedict Cumberbatch has like a sneaky ass cameo in this movie.
Sneaky backdoor Benedict.
Like it was awesome. Like I did like this was recommended by my friend Jeff to me, and because he was like, oh yeah, you like interreligious stuff, right? Like I think you might like this. And I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Like I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
The Book of Clarence.
That looks really interesting.
Yeah, I have season tickets to Lakeith Stanfield. He's great. He's
tickets.
I got season tickets for him. He's attached to star in the El Paso Elsewhere movie and produce.
Yeah, I saw that news too. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime a video game thing gets announced, I have a grain of salt. But having someone attached to it is usually a good sign. They also just announced casting for the Watch Dogs series.
There's a Watch Dogs series.
What?
AC.
Did I know this?
You should know.
I might have known this.
They announced the Watch Dogs and a Division thing and an Assassin's Creed thing. Hey, Splinter Cell.
Well, no, I remember the Assassin's Creed thing. There was supposed to be a Rainbow Six thing forever ago.
Watch Dogs movie.
The movie, not TV series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom Blythe.
All I want is that Rainbow Six movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, please.
Put together a squad. I just start cheering, stand up and cheer. Casey, I want to give you a second sneaky backdoor one.
Sure.
Nine Souls. Can we talk about Nine Souls?
Yeah. I'm currently playing Nine Souls. I want to say I'm about halfway through that game. I was very hyped for this after playing its Steam demo. It is living up to the hype. I'm having so much.
You were really on that. Well, he started by saying I was hyped for it. No,
because I was hyped. I was very hyped for it. So going into it, like I had high expectations. It's meeting them. Like I like it feels like what Hollow Knight did in the Dark Souls sort of 2D world for Sekiro. Like, but at the same time, like it's not fully combat based. It is a super competent Metroidvania as well. So like there's all the exploration, there's abilities that get you here and there. Like there are cool characters that you meet. There's a really interesting on the screen just said Tau Punk as a setting. Like I've never seen a setting like that, but like I effing love it.
Love Tau Punk.
Like
that's really good.
Like the art is gorgeous, sound design amazing, like music fantastic. Like I'm loving this game. I don't expect it to fall off in the back half, but like I want to get to the end of it before I do my review. But it's tough. Like you're gonna have to like I wouldn't say it's as tough as Sekiro or even Hollow Knight for that matter, but it is tough. Like it's gonna demand you to use all the buttons on your controller, especially when they start throwing a lot of combat encounters at you. But again, I'm only halfway through. I'm sure it's gonna continue to ramp up because like some of the platforming stuff is starting to like get real trial-y as well.
Some people I know online who are there's like a small group of like really outspoken, like this game is incredible. No one's talking about it. It kind of fell in under the radar. They also said like the story's surprisingly good. Like there's surprisingly
like I'm really digging the plot so far. Like I think it's telegraphing a little bit kind of what its big like dramatic beat is, but I don't know because I haven't reached it yet. So we'll see if I guess my theory is proven right or if it's like completely different what I was thinking, and then that blows my mind somehow.
What like I soul.
This a ninth soul? What?
Out of this coming?
But no, like I like all of the characters that I interact with, I give a shit about, and like that's good. Like you don't get that all the time.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I'm excited. That's on my big list of things to play, along with 10,000 other things. Nordic with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Has anyone at Second Wind watched Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss?
That is on my list.
Obsession. Yeah,
Has Been Hotel.
We've talked about Has Been Hotel before because that's kind of in that oeuvre of animated series that we like. But it's like Has Been Hotels from the Steven Universe person, someone who worked on or Adventure Time. Did I make that up?
No, I don't know actually. But I mean, a lot of the cartoon shows in this ilk do have that lineage. It's like someone who was underneath like a showrunner for an Adventure Time or a Steven Universe. Like they just branch off and then do their own thing. So I would not be surprised if that's the case.
Yeah, I think that's how we got that like Midnight Gospel and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was like some Adventure Time adjacent people there.
Yeah, that's like the old like Looking Glass tree where it's like, oh, people who worked on these games have gone off to form all these different studios. So like the DNA is still there. And then Spirit Core with $5 dono. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the years of coverage and amusement. I'm so glad to see Second Wind flourishing. Here's for the Eric needs a better mic fund. Eric, that $5 is yours. You can take it. You can do whatever you want with it. You could give it a fifth super chat if you want. Who knows? The world is your oyster.
We're anticipating that fifth super chat from Eric.
I can't believe what's going to come. It's going to be amazing when it gets here. We can wrap it up there. I gotta leave. So we're fine wrapping it up there. You guys keep talking.
Sorry.
I'm just not gonna be. Thank you guys so much. As we mentioned before, we have our Summer Game Fest coverage starts tomorrow. It's going to be at noon Central. Frost will be joining us, and we'll be watching that Guerrilla Collective live. Tomorrow will still be DMC. We'll be starting DMC. Casey and I will be normal time. So Devil May Cry DMC. Speaking of Ninja Theory, hopefully this game turns out better than. I don't want to say better than Hellblade 2 because I haven't played it yet, and Nick likes it. And Nick was attacked for his opinions in a meeting earlier, and I tried to defend him. I'm like, why am I defending him?
You guys are being dramatic. We just asked Nick to review a game, and
you guys called him Nick Cucklandra in the meeting.
People tried to throw knives at me through their computer screen.
No one called him Nick Cucklandra.
So defend this bitch.
Oh, you did it cause So yeah, tune in for that, and then Friday we'll be back. How have I not requested like just an image document that we could have all the streaming times? How did I fuck that up? Maybe I could do that now. Okay, at some point we're gonna have an image with all this stuff. But Friday we'll be back 4 p.m. Central for Summer Game Fest Live, Day of the Devs, Devolver. Maybe cheeky metaphor refantasio that I just scream out into the void. We'll see. Saturday morning, we'll be starting at 10 a.m. Central with Frost doing Future Play, Wholesome, Latin American games, Women-led Game Showcase, and the Future Game Show. Sunday, noon Central, Case will be joining us again. We'll be doing the Xbox Showcase, Black Ops 6, and the PC Gaming Show. There will be no newly released on Sunday. It is another Australian holiday, and let me tell you, those bank holidays, they're getting... There's too many of them. We gotta get rid of the bank holidays. We're gonna defund the bank holidays.
Bank holidays like every other week.
It's just a fucking bank holiday. I love it. And then Monday, 2 p.m. Central, Ubisoft Forward, which Casey will not be involved in. It'll be a conflict of interest.
I will be at work while that's happening.
You can't be like, ooh, bank holiday, busy. And then we'll see if Nintendo Direct gets announced. We'll be doing that. All the goodies. So tune in for those. And one last super chat. Gearless with $100 dono.
Two
last super chats. Oh no, one.
Spirit Core? No,
we already read that.
No, I already did.
Oh, we did. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, we riffed. Gearless with $100 dono. Thank you so much.
Hellblade Land.
Gonna keep the lights on, and for the new mic, I don't know if Eric gets this whole $100 one. He got the whole $5 one. The whole $100 one seems excessive. We can get your new mic, but the whole $100 dono seems excessive. But thank you so much. Nick, where can folks find you? What should folks check out?
You can find me on Twitter, which is public again, because I'm staying out of drama. Next week I'll have a new video.
Days. I'm proud of you.
I have. I'll have a new episode of Unpacked up next Thursday covering Wayfinder, which went from live service failure because the publisher pulled out to suddenly now it's a premium product and it's actually pretty damn fun. So that'll be
from pull out. You should have your headline be from pull out to premium. Oh no. No.
This is why I don't surf the same.
I thought we were workshopping.
But other than that, Frost and I will be back to start Call of Duty. Maybe we will be. I don't remember. There's no image with the schedule on it, so I don't know what time all those streams are. But on Friday, if there's not a showcase stream, we'll be back to start Call of Duty 2.
You're not starting Call of Duty. Jesus.
Okay,
Christ,
no, I'm not starting Call of Duty.
It's at noon, and at 4 p.m. Central is Summer Game Fest Live.
Shit. Okay.
You can sneak it in there between 2 and 4. If
I don't want to sneak things in between things.
That's how you get
Casey.
You guys can find me at Sigma Gears 9 all over the internet. All the stuff for the Summer Game Fest that Marty mentioned, I'm going to be participating in. Based on those times, I think by 7 p.m. we're clear, right? Like we're not.
Devolver
right?
is at 7 p.m. Central, so that's 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay, so not going to have wedding streams because I'm going to be working on that stuff. But next time we do have them, Starboy is in town. My son will be back, so we'll be having like 3-person family streams. I think I'm gonna have him actually play stuff, and then me and my fiance Kia can actually just interact with chat because that duality has been a little rough when we actually try to concentrate on a game. So he can be the game stooge. And honestly,
get the Sackboy game.
Yeah, I might do that. I might honestly do that. But he's been making his way through Tears of the Kingdom, and I've been getting to see a lot more of that game. I've been seeing a lot more of that game thanks to him. So since I don't have to mess with the menu, I can see what's good in it without experiencing the bad. So that's been fun.
But bad game to Tears of the Kingdom.
I didn't say anything.
But outside of that, Jess just released a dope 3MR on
Tales of
Candleforth, which I helped edit. So check that out. And just keep a lookout probably sometime next week for my 9 Souls bite size as well. That's it. That's all I got.
Have you played
Awesome.
It Takes Two yet with your fiance?
Yeah, we got near the end, but it wouldn't end, so we kind of got tired of it.
Did you at least get to what's the elephant's name? Cutie.
Yeah, we got to the part where we killed the elephant.
It's so funny.
It is never surprising to me that you love that part.
Yeah,
never surprising that you love
cracking
it.
up
Never.
One of my favorite moments with Yahtzee is our surprise at that home moment.
It was good. It was a good game. A little long in the tooth. Agree with that.
But yeah, it just went on a little too long, and we got tired and moved on.
The whole heaven section at the end is unnecessary.
Yeah, just like life. Yeah, and then apart from that, just check out. Most of you probably already seen it, but we released our 6-month update to the channel there. You can check out that video and all the cool stuff we have in the works, including Adventure is Nigh, the remaster starting this weekend. That'll be up Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday.
So Saturday morning, episode 0, the pilot. Every Saturday now until the heat death of the universe. There's an Adventure is Nigh Season 4 teaser in there. There's the announcement of The Rewind, our new upcoming entertainment show. All you Mooney heads out there, all you Darrens. That'll be launching this summer. Same thing with my new series I'm working on with Javed called The Archive, which is all about those old games we were talking about, including Mega Man Legends, Skies of Arcadia, Parasite Eve, all those goodies. So we got so much stuff for you guys. We're excited for it all. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Casey. For Marty, this was Firelink episode number 24. Thank you all so much. Everyone watching live, everyone listening on your podcast services of choices or watching the VODs. And we'll be back tomorrow at noon with the first of many Summer Game Fest showcases of the Guerrilla Collective. So we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.